observing the photograph of Father Howard Fletcher McMunnon, who must have conducted the wedding of your grandparents 100 years ago this day, October 16th. Wow. It's incredible. Incredible, incredible, incredible. You know, Jill
helps.
Yes. And today is actually 100 years ago to the date that your grandparents got married here.
Yes, that's right.
Tell us about it, Jill.
It's very special to me this day. My parents' families, my grandparents' families were all from Southwick. My grandfather, Ronald Burnham, and my grandmother, Selina Story, were married in this church on this day in 1920.
Wow. 1920?
Yes, 1920. So it's extremely special for me to be able to come to the church today, and thank you for allowing me to come, Peter. And it's so special to me to see where my grandparents would have walked down the aisle, where they would have stood at the altar, and where they would have come out as a married couple.
So how did you find out? And
I just knew from family knowledge that we knew that they were a Sunderland couple. We thought they were from Southwick. My mum thought they were from Southwick, and I just started looking on parish records. And sure enough, there they were, 16th of October 1920, Ronald Burnham, Selina Story.
Wow.
And I hope it was a day like this, because look at the sun shining now.
It's incredible.
Yes.
Wow, what a story.
We have no photographs or anything, so this is all we have.
Wow, wow.
And it's pretty special. They moved to Hordon, which is a mining village outside Peterlee. Some people will know it. Because my grandfather got work in the pit. He worked with pit ponies. He loved horses. He'd been on horseback in the First World War, which is how my grandparents met.
Okay.
Because my grandmother was quite adventurous. She signed up and went to war as an orderly, ended up nursing, and she ended up nursing my grandfather, who coincidentally came from Southwick as well.
Wow.
So they came back here. The relationship continued after the war. They got married, of course, here. They moved to Hordon. My grandfather worked with pit ponies in Hordon Colliery, and they lived happily ever after till death us do part. They had 7 children from 6 pregnancies, so one set of twins in there.
Jeez, wow.
My mum was the 5th of the 7 children, and her name was Muriel. 5 boys and 2 girls.
Wow.
So a big family, as tended to be in those days. So incredibly close family. They always were.
Yeah.
And so that was the story, and they lived in Hordon until they both passed away. It's so special. Yeah. I don't even know what she would have been wearing. I've looked online, and they had these lace caps and things, and quite lacy dresses.
Oh, 100 years ago.
I don't imagine it would have changed too much.
It has changed because there were pews, wooden pews here.
Yes.
Though 100 years ago also, it must have been a bit different because a lot of things here are more recent, the 50s, 60s, so like yes.
Uh-huh. How about the marble at the front?
But the marble at the front, I understand there's black marble under this the rug, the red rug, which we're going to explore, because the intricacies of the marble leading up to the high altar is amazing. But in recent times they have covered it with rugs,
carpets. It would be lovely to see that revealed, wouldn't it?
Yes. Because the original, special. When they got married, it will have been the original marble on the altar. That faith of your grandmother, it kind of passed on.
I think it was always there. It was never forced. my grandmother was a very quiet woman who just quietly lived her life. She never would have pushed any issues regarding religion onto anybody.
Yeah.
Also, she never said a bad word about anybody. And I try to live my life like that now, because it's not helpful.
Yeah.
So really, it's about being the best person you can be. And she had a big part in my upbringing as well, because my mum was unwell for a time. And so I was extremely close to my grandmother. And those were the things I learned from her. Never say anything bad about anybody. Every day try and be the best person you can possibly be. And believe and hope and have faith. Even in a time like this, which is such a terrible time for all of us. We have to keep hoping, don't we?
Yeah.
I think she didn't go to church every single Sunday. All the children did. She was just far too busy running the house, looking after seven children. You can imagine her parents and my granddad's parents moved from Southwick down to Horden into the next street so they could have some of the children live with them. And this is what they did to manage it. My grandparents had a small 2-bedroom bungalow to live in. So times were not easy, but they did manage with family support. And basically, she didn't go to church every week. What she did in private, I don't know. But I know she loved the Lord. And I know she had a deep, deep belief
in God.
But it was just instilled in her. She would have told me stories as a child, no doubt, Bible stories and such like. But more than that, she just taught me to try and be a good person.
Amen.
And in God's image, as far as we ever possibly can on this earth.
Yes. Have you ever been in this church?
Not at all. No, it's the first time. I've lived here for many years. I lived in Clevedon for 17 years and then South Shields for 16 years, just outside of Clevedon, really.
Yes.
And never had the opportunity to come in. And I didn't quite well. I did look once and it had been closed down.
Yes.
And I was devastated and I thought, you should have done this sooner. You should have gone in and now you've lost your chance and it's just going to fall into disrepair. And then I found that the wedding date was coming up, and I just went online and I found that it's being transformed into a community hub as well, which is fantastic.
Actually, it's a church. It's we worship. Yeah, we worship, and it's because of the pandemic that we've arranged this way to create social distancing.
Yes.
You know.
Oh, it's fabulous! I absolutely love it.
One of the things we really passionately want to do is never to allow the light of worship and Christian fellowship to die in this place.
No.
Because this is one of the churches that was built brick by brick. People actually paid. It wasn't built by the diocese.
Right.
It wasn't built by the Anglican Church. It was built by people.
Goodness, I did not know that.
Yes, it was built by people, paying brick by brick, so that is so significant, to us, that it is people who love God, who put together this wonderful edifice, and so it will not be sold to nothing else but for the Lord.
That's what I was worried about. When I realised it was closing, I'd seen it online, it was closing, and I thought, that's terrible. What will it become?